Hello all of you, welcome to you all on our ENUP channel. Myself Abhishek, and as I was dealing with the science section, so now I will be starting a new series which will be based on the Laxmikant book, and this is going to be in English only. So the first chapter which we will be discussing will be the Union and its territory. That is a part 1 of the constitutions, and after that on the remaining 4 chapters we will be discussing those all in the latter portion, because first of all I think that you must be known with the constitution process, then it become very easier to understand the preamble and silent feature of the constitution. So gentlemen and friends, whatever you think to be fit, that let's start with this chapter, that is the first, Union and its territory. So first of all, I will be starting my views that what is the meaning of a union and its territory. What does this means to you? So union and a territory basically means that whatever, today at a time we are having 28 states and we are having 8 union territories. This 8 union territories, because already earlier we were having the 9 union territories, the Daman and Diu and Dadar and Nagar Haveli, they got merged with one another. So now we are having in a current situation 8 union territories. Now about the basic process, that how there should be a creation of a state, how there should be a process under which the parliament can make a boundary dispute between a state, between the outer country, between the two countries. This how this all matter can be resolved. This is basically discussed in this union and its territory. Now coming to the article portions, it contains the article 1 to article 4. We will be discussing in very elaborate and comprehensive way. Each and every topic will be discussed by me, and one by one we will be discussing different process which can be executed in the parliament for making such kind of things, like if we acquire a territory, if there is a boundary dispute between the two states, if the parliament thinks in his idea that the state should be divided into 2 or more parts, we will be discussing about this. Okay, now first of all I have written here the union of states versus federation of state. Now why this concept, why the union of state and why the federation of states? Now let me give you a very remind portion thing, that is federation of state is in a case of USA. I will be discussing about this firstly. The union of state, what does this means, and a federation of state. Just take an example of USA. In USA, in a current situation, there are 50 states. These 50 states have signed an agreement with the central that they will be along with this. Means that there were different portions, and collectively they joined with each other and they made a bigger circle. That's why we say to them that that is a federation of states. The USA is recognized as a federation of states, and in the Constituent Assembly, when the debate came to be there that why the India is not being regarded as a federation of state, yet we were having a federal system like Canada, that the Dr. Bhimrao suggested that we are a union of states. Why a union of states? Because in the context of India, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar said that this is India. Okay, suppose something like this, we are India, and in this respect, we have divided it in the states. Here there is an agreement that all the states were different. For example, this is Texas, this is New Jersey, this is, for example, New York, this is California. They all came to an agreement that we will be joining with the USA, and they decided and signed an agreement, and collectively they formed the USA. But in the context of the India, it was literally different. Firstly, we created the India and then we divided the states. Hope you will be getting my point. That's why we regard the India as a union of states rather than a federation of states. And itself in India, you can cite out 2 reasons here, the first reason and second reason. The first reason is that in India, there is no official agreement between states to center, unlike USA. The second is there, states do not have power to to secede from India. Now here I want to discuss two concepts. Let me rub this. Here the first concept, in case of, I will be comparing this issue with the USA and with India. It can be a question, then secede from India, what does this basically means? For example, let me take a case of India. In India, there is a state, West Bengal. The policies which are being made by West Bengal and a current scenario of West Bengal, it defines us that, for example, let's take an hypothetical case. Tomorrow, the West Bengal government thinks that they want to secede from India, they want to be different, they want to make a different nation by coming out from this India. Are they authorized to do that? No, at all. They can't do this. That is means they can't secede. In the case of USA, suppose this is a Texas, and if they want to secede from USA, then also they cannot secede from here. That, what does this means? Why I am saying you, here this is called indestructible power, two states. Here it is called destructible power to states. Why in this context? I am saying you that here the states do not have any authority to control over any kind of area. The area here means that in its position it can't secede or it cannot accede to any of the states or from India or to the outside. But here destructible powers are also given in the hands of a states, because here in the Texas, or for example let's take a case of a Texas constituency. Here in a Texas state, there will be 2/3 majority will be needed in the state assemblies or the state parliament, but here nothing is to do with the state. Now I will be discussing this whole thing in a more elaborate way. Let's come. I hope that you have got the meaning of the union states and federation of the states. Now let's come to the new case, that is the territory of India, and as we are in the part 1, there are two things: territory, union and its territory of the union and its territory. Now what does this mean, the territory of states, the union territory and acquired territory? Just make a Venn diagram in this case. For example, let's start with, this is a union of states. If I will be dealing with the first article, then it says India, that is Bharat, is union of states. This means that this is states. Now including the union territory, when the union of states and union territory both comes, then we say this has to be the territory of India. Territory of India. Now here I have mentioned a word acquired. What does this means? In a future, if India thinks and deems to be fit that in future we want to acquire any territory, then it itself will be considered as a territory of India. For example, in a case of Sikkim, we acquired the Sikkim in a later on, and now Sikkim is also considered is in the territory of India. Now the second article says about admission or establishment of states by parliament as it thinks to be fit. Now here are two words to be mentioned. The first is the admission and second is the establishment. Now what does the term admissions means to you, and what does the term establishment means to you? The admission means that, for example, let's take a case that we are having a land. Okay, that is a territory that is already into existence, that can be regarded as a state by the parliament. That is totally in the hands of the union parliament. And the second thing, establishment here says to you that if the parliament thinks that a new state should be established, for example, like in case of Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand was cutted out from it, it was divided, so it came to be a new establishment. So that is a case of Article 2. Now the most important is the Article number 4, that what are the powers given to the parliament that it can use to make such kind of things. You can remember it by mnemonics, that is FIDA, FIDAA. Now what does this means? The F for formation of a new states. For example, in 2014, Telangana was a new state and it is the youngest state till now. Okay, so you can consider it as a formation of new state. It can increase the area of any state. That can be by merging two different states. It can diminish the area. That is something like we can say dividing of a state. Alter the boundaries, merging or altering the boundaries, and this means the altering the name. That is totally in the hands of union government. Now let me take a case of this. For example, you may have listened that Allahabad name is changed to Prayagraj. Now that is a case within a state, and the state has a power to change the name of any particular area, a particular station, a particular constituency within the states. That's why Allahabad is changed into Prayagraj. But do you think that at the demand of the West Bengal, the West Bengal is saying to you that this West should be removed from the West Bengal? The state name should be either Bengal or something like Banga. But that is in the hand of the union government. Whatever it thinks to be fit, that if they think that it is to be fit, then only a resolution can be passed, then only a law can be passed, and later on the name can be changed from West Bengal to Bengal. Now we will be coming to the third portion, and that will be that what is the procedure to carry out it. So what is the procedure for a creation, or what we have said, that is FIDAA, FIDA, by the parliament. Now for this, an ordinary bill is produced. This ordinary bills requires a recommendation from the president. On his recommendation, then only it can be introduced into the both houses. After the recommendation, it is suggested by the president that a copy of the bill will be sent to the state legislature, and within a specified time-bound manner. That is the matter with the legislature, that if they are ready with the procedures, they are ready with the type of enactments or type of the proposed things in the bill, then they can either accept it, or that may be a case that they can either reject it. Now see what they accept. If they are ready with the proposal, then what it be there, that the bill will be accepted by the state legislature. More nice, very good. Now the bill will be passed by both houses by a simple majority. By a simple majority of present and voting. We will be discussing this term, what is the meaning of present and voting, later on. Let's take a case of simple majority. You can simply learn it like this: more than 50% of present and voting. This will be the required amount here. Now if a bill is passed, then the president is bound to give the assent. Now why the president is bound to give the assent? Because we have already taken a recommendation from the president, then only it has been produced into both the houses. Now later on, if it becomes a law, then there will be an enactment and it will become a law. Now what if they reject, if the state rejects it? If the state rejects it, that doesn't matter at all. The process will be same from here. If the parliament thinks it to be fit, then this will be already bill will be passed in both the houses, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, by the simple majority, and after that the president will be giving his assent, an enactment will be theirs, and a bill will be passed and it will come and act. Okay. Now, in the next class, in a coming up class, I will be telling you a difference between the ordinary bill and the second is constitutional bill. Okay, we will be dealing it with later on. First of all, we will be completing these chapters, and tomorrow we will be discussing more few things which are left with this chapter, and very shortly we will be coming back, and I expect this that tomorrow we will be completing this. If you will be having any doubt relating to this chapter, you can post it into the comment sections and I will be dealing with those all things. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, friends.